Ladies and gentlemen, this Red Gaming Tetacom video, let us discuss recent comments that Project Cars developer, also known as Slightly Mad Studios, have made regarding the SteamOS. Now, I want to discuss this and to get this out the way because I'm working on a video series, some ideas actually regarding PC gaming and like its current problems and issues, as well as maybe what it's going to be doing in the future. So in a recent interview, Andy Tudor was asked, what advantages does an open to predominantly PC platform such as SteamOS offer? Obviously in relation to something like, say, Windows or whatever. And Andy responded, SteamOS means that high-end PC hardware can move from being hunched over a desk to relaxed on a couch in a living room, so it destroys a barrier that's always been present between PC and console markets. It's also not a fixed spec. So game technology can evolve at the same pace as hardware instead of being fixed in a long cycle as we experienced in the last gen of consoles. Open platforms also make game development accessible to more people, and that's good. It results in innovation and diversity, and everyone, both gamers and developers, benefit from that. Plus the control that opens up a wealth of new ideas, end quote. Now I want to really touch on this because I think it sets the stage for like a really big topic, and it's going to be a controversial topic, and it's certainly going to upset some people, and maybe some people will agree. But here's the thing, right? The SteamOS is I think that Valve and Steam and Steam machines and all of the offshoots are important for PC gaming, but it's by no means the only way to do this, right? I mean, you could stream via, say, the Nvidia Shield if you so desire. There are other ways to do it that I'm not going to go into because I'll be here for a while explaining them all. But there are ways. Other people, for example, just prefer to have like a Windows-based system. Just get a mini like case, just throw it under the under like a TV cabinet or whatever, and it's not too bad. Like if you get the right case and so on, it's not necessarily that much bigger, and you can certainly make a Steam machine type of system without too much trouble with basically the hardware that's available out there. In terms of the case, like the hardware itself is easy, like the CPUs and so forth. So I don't really think that's a big deal, but I think things such as the big picture and the controller, which obviously I'm not sure how many of you are aware of the controller, so I'm going to very quickly go into that. But the idea behind it is that you can use like an Xbox 360 pad for something like Batman, or even other games like first-person shooters like Crysis work on a standard controller Xbox 360 pad. Now, they do work, but obviously it's not necessarily ideal, particularly if you're playing online. Controller is not really ideal to play online in a competitive environment, but certainly for single-player games, it's okay. But the idea with the Steam controller is that in effect, the drivers, the software acts as like an abstraction layer, so you can basically not need to worry about mouse and keyboard support, so it could work with a lot more games, and that's pretty ideal. And so that's definitely going to be a major plus with the SteamOS. But let's regard for a moment other comments regarding the fixed specifications. Now, I'm also uploading another video today. I don't know which of these is going to go up first. I guess it just depends on editing speeds and stuff. Probably the other one. But I'm uploading another video today of like the first part of my Let's Play of Crysis. I'm going to be doing some analysis on this actually in the next few days. But Crysis, the original Crysis, may I add, was released way back in 2007. I don't have the exact date, but it was, finished basically being patched late to 8. And I just want you to think about that for a second. Like when you're looking, and I would encourage you just to check out a few minutes of the gameplay of this like Let's Play walkthrough look thing I'm uploading today, even if it's just a few minutes, or look at some screenshots or whatever. And I just want you to look at the graphics. Now this is basically a DX10 game, right? And when it was released on PCs at the start of that year, in 2007, it destroyed systems. And that's fine. When I say destroy systems, I really mean games machines struggled and it actually created their own meme. Can it run Crysis? Because not only was it CPU intensive, it really battered your GPU. Particularly in higher resolutions. Like, a lot of people had to basically say, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to play in 720p or just lower the detail settings overall. But over, the next year to 2 years, certainly by 2.8, 2.9, machines had really started to be able to run it at a decent frame rate with decent resolutions, and it looked really good. Now, why am I saying all this? Well, this is my point. Developers were able to really just push Crysis. Now, it had some problems. It wasn't visually incredibly astounding. There was some texture. You can certainly notice some lower resolution textures now, and lighting isn't as good as, say, the CryEngine, Crysis 3, which of course is using a much later version of the engine and so forth. But the reality of the matter is, despite the engine having some problems, which didn't really help performance, right? There was definitely some optimizations they could have added in, which of course the team did learn and subsequently put in. But the last generation of consoles, the Xbox 360 and PS3, were hideously underpowered, really, in terms of the amount of memory involved, and they didn't have good enough GPUs as well. So my point being, in like a roundabout way, that I think that consoles have definitely held back games development, and I completely agree with Andy in that respect, that, the major issue, and this is what Microsoft have somewhat tried to do with the cloud, like cloud computing, it's just, obviously, that if you're trying to render something that requires like an on-frame reaction, you're going to have some bad issues with that. But still, I really do love PC development. It's not flawless right now. There are multiple issues, including, for example, draw call issues, just optimization problems. There's so many different problems that we could go into. I'm not going to go into certainly all of them in this video because it's a huge topic. But I think that we're in a very exciting time, and I think that a lot of developers now are starting to realize the issues, and companies such as AMD, such as Valve, are starting to make a lot of headway in this. Anyway, it's just a little bit of a ramble on my part, so let me know what you think. I'm going to get going. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.